Hey Duck fans! This April, I thought we could take a look at April, and May, and June. These three identical little ladies are Daisy's nieces, and are often seen as both the rivals of, and occasional sweethearts to, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. April, May, and June were introduced by Carl Barks in June of 1952 in a comic later called Flip Decision when published in 1953. Oddly enough, they aren't major characters in their debut story, only appearing on the last page as almost a footnote in a joke about Donald once again forgetting a promised date with Daisy. The three little girls go along arm in arm with their respectively colored male triplet on Donald and Daisy's movie date. There is an attempt at giving the girls a touch of personality, which is a little surprising given how small their roles were. The trio exclaim that they want to see the movie Gore in the Gully as they come running in from another room. This gives the reader the impression that the triplets' fondness for horror films indicates that they might not be quite as ladylike as their aunt. Carl Barks utilized the girls sparingly in his comics, but they made appearances in plenty others not penned by him, such as in the Donald Duck and Friends comics, as well as some Mickey Mouse and Ludwig von Drake comics. Like most of the other members of the Duck family tree, April, May, and June found popularity overseas, most notably in the Netherlands, where they are known as Lizzie for April, Hulte for May, and Babetje for June. For a time there was an attempt to keep them identical yet color-coded, like Donald's boys, but that was eventually dropped in some European countries, and the girls were given their own individual styles. In 1998, a Dutch comic artist named Mau Hemmans gave the girls makeovers, styling their blonde hair into three distinct do's. April now wears her hair in a ponytail, May sports a headband, and June's hair is split into two pigtails. There are still some places where they continue to be portrayed in their original identical appearances rather than in these updated looks. As previously mentioned, the girls are seen as rivals to the male triplets, specifically in their roles as little chickadees, or in some stories Red Robins. While the junior woodchucks are Duckburg's answer to the Boy Scouts, the littlest chickadees are their version of Girl Scouts. We see them compete with the junior woodchucks as well as perform traditional Girl Scout sorts of activities like sell cookies and hold fundraisers. The uniforms for the chickadees vary in appearance, from military green to baby pink. I find it amusing that when the woodchucks and chickadees do compete, often it appears the boys either win by some miraculous twist of fate at the last possible moment, or they lose but are rewarded in some manner anyway. For a long while, the only time we ever saw the girls in animated format was for a brief moment in a single episode of Disney's House of Mouse, where they fill in for the house band that the nephews normally provided. In a surprising turn of events, relatively recently in 2018, the little ladies got some screen time in the unfortunately short-run animated series The Legend of the Three Caballeros. Next month, I'll be giving this show a proper video because there is so much to say about it. I loved it. I feel like it gave the girls a real chance to shine. I suppose I do have to mention the appearances they make in DT-17, the DuckTales reboot, but I was not impressed and simply don't consider that to be canon in any capacity. But for fans of the reboot, they make a surprise appearance in the series finale. It would be remiss if I didn't mention the predecessor and possible older sister of the girls, Dottie Duck. She was first and last seen in 1941 and is another young niece of Daisy's. We have even less information about her. We have no idea which sibling of Daisy's she allegedly comes from, and she has no real character aside from being a miniature Daisy who comes across as flirtatious with Huey, Dewey, and Louie. April, May, and June are incredible characters that deserve more time and attention. I find that they're just as entertaining as Huey, Dewey, and Louie. They're clever, funny, and they make for great role models for younger Disney fans who need bright girls to look up to. I would love to see more of them in the future, and sincerely hope we do. Until next time, Duck fans.